Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to Action and Inertia, a podcast where we talk about human behavior in response to change. Every week, we have our guests give us their unique and valuable perspective on the topic. I am your host, Kimberly Logan, and today we have the honor and privilege of having Kerrie Blackmon on with us. Action, sweet. Welcome, Kerrie. We're so excited to have you here. Please introduce yourself to our audience. Let us know who you are, what you're passionate about, and where your subject matter expertise lies.
My name is Kerrie. I am passionate about community and education and friendship and family. I think those things, yes, definitely. And I would say my expertise. Wow, that's such an honor, even saying that. An expert. Definitely, I'm an educator, so I would definitely say like education, special education, that area.
Connecting people.
Yeah, I'm super into community stuff. Like, yo, come on, y'all, let's all community. Yeah. So I would say those are my expertise.
Thank you. So, just to reorient the community, each week we have two goals. First is to inspire at least one person to actively lean into change. And second is to gather information to add to our database of opinions that folks can use as they're training for change and experiencing change in their own lives. So without further ado, we will jump right into the three questions that we ask each guest each week. Question number one, Kerrie. In the face of change, what motivates a person to action and or inertia?
I would say in the face of change, and not to sound all like morbid or anything, I think fear. I think fear is one of those things that really, has the ability to do both. Either send you it like, not gonna be me, I'm out of here, or be like, cower, I am frozen, I will not move, I am stuck. Like, so I think a lot of people, it's fear. Fear is the thing that does that.
Yeah. I hear that, and it's so interesting. I think we don't give enough credit to how powerful fear is as an experience, as an emotion,
Absolutely.
as something that we're all experiencing, right? And that's
Absolutely.
like such a part of the goals of the podcast is to like create a community around this shared experience because we're all experiencing change. It's like
absolutely
in different ways, but we never really get around to talking to that granular level of like, you know what, it's all different, but let's find community in the fact that like we all struggling.
Yeah, we all out here, we all struggling. It's hard out here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just difficult.
So just to shout out to acknowledging that fear is real, that fear is powerful, and that we're all experiencing that, and hoping that everybody can just find a little bit of peace in knowing.
Yeah.
Or remember.
I love that. Yeah, I love the fact that you said like, because I try for myself to try to I always try to be like, are you afraid? like asking myself like why can't you, or why didn't you, or how come you are you afraid? And sometimes it is like I was scared. That's the only reason I did that.
And that's real.
And we use in our lives like, I am fearful to get diabetes, so I'm gonna eat right and I'm exercise. We can use fear in a positive way, because, and people too, I don't want to be like that person. I want to be like my dad, so I'm gonna be a good, I'm gonna try my best,
Right.
Yeah, definitely fear.
Right. Yeah. I hear that. So the second question that we ask is which choice, so like action or inertia, lends itself to more of a like holistic wellness when you look at your life as like this whole system of operations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's important as we talk about fear and talk about like how that kind of can sway you either way, to point
Mm-hmm.
out that like it really is a spectrum. You know, it's not
Mm-hmm.
black and white. It's definitely not black and white.
No, no,
It's
no, no.
gray. It's
Yeah.
all penumbra, right?
Right. And
So
sometimes you gotta not do anything, wait a little
to
bit,
get
then do, yeah,
right to
like,
get
so
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
right,
yeah,
yeah, because I
absolutely.
mean sometimes you really the necessary action is stillness.
Yes, yes. Sometimes you like, you know what? I gotta go and
Yeah,
sit down. Let
yeah,
me go. Let me go
yeah.
sit.
But yeah, so let me know your thoughts on yeah, like which one of those choices in your experience or in your observation lends
Mm-hmm.
itself to more holistic wellness. You know, you kind of talked about fear, you know, making you like, I'm gonna eat right today, so tomorrow, you know what I
But
mean?
I
I
want to
can
wear that cute
warm
top.
during the summer.
Right, right. I would say, I guess personally, I guess for me, it's been more action. And like you said, like not action. Like I don't want everybody to think like I'm out here crushing all of my goals, right? Like, it's not like I'm fearful of this or so I'm just killing it. No, not at all. But I would say that it's definitely been action. When I put myself and I push myself, even in the face of fear, I find myself to be I'm happier. I get to experience joy, and like when I don't, I'm like beating myself up in my bed.
Yeah,
So for
yeah.
me, so I think just generally, and sometimes it's hard, and it's not like a one day thing, and it's not always like A plus B equals C. But I found that action, no matter how long it takes, girl, it's been better for me in terms of my like experience in the world. Like I've been able to be like, oh, that was nice. Even when I'm scared, like
Yeah,
I don't want to do that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And then I'm like, oh, wasn't that right? This is great. Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks, action. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I hear that. Yeah, I agree. I think for me, you know, like there's certain kind of like I don't know, like systems I've built into my life, I think
Mm-hmm.
kind of like help me
Mm-hmm.
overcome little day-to-day fear or anxiety.
Absolutely.
Shout out to high functioning anxiety.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No,
'Cause
and you
I
and you
hear you, and
have to.
you're like, oh, you know, don't get it twisted. Like, I don't kill out my goals. Like, I kill out my goals while suffering.
Right. Why I'm
Barely,
shivering in fear. I'm like killing my
barely.
goals.
You
Right,
know,
right, right,
I'm
right.
like, this is like a new term for me, but I felt so seen. I was like, high functioning anxiety. Who knew?
Right.
Who knew?
You
Who knew?
talking, me?
Yeah, but I think there's definitely something to be said about what you said about doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Leaning into like the curiosity of like what if. Like
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? I'm terrified. Like I might pass out right now. But let's see.
See what happened. Right.
Let's
And,
see
and
what happens.
and connect to my education side, like as a teacher, that's what you have to, that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create this atmosphere for my students where, yes, you can be fearful. Of course, you don't want to speak out loud. Of course, you don't want to present. Of course, you don't want to do anything that these teachers ask you to do. But it's kind of like my job to create spaces where it's like not horrible. It's like
Mm,
lean into it. Like, all right, you don't got to present this week, but maybe you can just raise your hand, please. Like, so, and building in those systems so that they have the opportunity to eventually like kind of like live out loud and then be like, wow, that wasn't that bad.
yes. Yes, I love that because that's what I think that's so important to the conversation about change and how we respond to change. Um, how much credit is due to feeling empowered to
Mm-hmm.
be successful.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know, I mean, and
Yeah.
that like is I guess like another way to say fear. But you know, I think that's so important what you said, just about how you manage that in your classroom, but also in life. Because I always say, like, you know, some like this is about training for change. So you train like in increments, right? You don't just like
Yeah.
go to the Olympics.
Right.
You,
Right.
you have to like
Absolutely.
train,
Right.
and then you have smaller competitions, and then right. But
Right.
every time you try, you know, often win or lose, just that practice muscle empowers you. It's like
Yes.
it doesn't even matter really if you win or lose. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, those are loose concepts anyway, because like a loss
Right.
will be a win, right? But it's
Mm-hmm.
empowering just to know that, like,
Yo.
I started CrossFit this week. Don't ask. And my first class was Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk in at 6:30 a.m. and there's like these
Mm.
CrossFit people everywhere. And I'm just
Every
like, okay, I just have
true.
to not die.
Mm.
I just
Right.
not die.
Yeah.
Whatever I do, as long as the result is not that I'm alive at 7:30,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna
Yeah.
get that as like success. Here I am,
When
and I'll be back
you
tomorrow.
won. Oh, congratulations. Yeah, like that, you know, like exactly because so like I've run a couple of longer distance things and that is how it is when you're running. Like I remember being like, run. Why would I run? Like,
Right now.
who be running? Like
The
who be run?
zombies
Like
can
why
have
would
me. I will
yeah, like why would
contribute.
I ever run? And then I remember I had this friend, she was like so persistent. She was like, girl, you can do it. And I'm like, all right. And I mean, we literally started by like, all right, I'm gonna run from here to there. Girl, I did the Broad Street. I didn't come in first, but I finished. And I was like, the respect and the like the homage that I paid my body to just like do that. I was like, I didn't even know I could do that.
And
Like
that's
you
real.
don't even be knowing what you can do sometimes
Yes.
unless you kind of like lean in because who would have known? I'm the person that was like, run. Come on now. I don't like so I was like,
Yeah, I'm still
I
that
ain't a runner. Yeah, no, and it's
I'm
no
here for
pressure.
all those long
You're
walks.
at you're at CrossFit. Listen, I never did a I be driving by CrossFit gyms because they be out, always outside going hard, and you be like, those CrossFit people, look at them going hard. Is that a tire they're flipping? What?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Are they jumping off the tire? Okay.
But it's just like, you know, it's just like like we were saying before. I'm just curious about like what I can do.
What? Right.
Like,
Yo.
so I
Yes.
don't even have like, I don't grab a board. I'm not writing nothing down.
Right.
I don't care about like, I'm just curious about, you know, I signed up for this for 6 weeks. Let me see.
Right.
Let's,
Yeah.
you know,
Let's
I
test
didn't
these
even, I made
waters.
it a point to not even watch a video. I didn't even know what I was getting.
Oh, so you went in. Oh, it's gonna be a beautiful experience, and you're gonna do something, and you're gonna be like, "You don't believe what I did, y'all!"
Yeah,
And it's gonna be wonderful. So,
I
yeah.
know. So far, and it was. Monday was great. I felt great when I left, you know.
Oh wow. Hmm. I'm
So
start judging the CrossFit people.
CrossFit people.
That's
I know everybody's like, it's a
okay.
lifestyle. I'm like,
It,
well,
it,
6 weeks, it's a lifestyle. We'll see what happens after that.
yeah, like, it is a lifestyle. They're really invested.
So this kind of leads us into the did we talk about second question, third question?
They're,
Got a little off track.
they're,
You know,
Mhm.
you guys not gonna get me off track.
No.
So third
Good
question.
conversation.
So and we kind of started talking about these, you know, this is the design of this is so great. So what are the traits that are inherent to people who consistently choose action? Right. So I feel like through conversation we've touched on curiosity, we've touched on just being the world's greatest trier,
Yep.
you know,
That's,
like
yep.
make that your goal that yeah, I'm just gonna be the best at
Yeah.
trying.
I'm out
Forget
here
about the
trying.
result, I'm just gonna try. So what else do
Right.
you think?
Um, I would say in terms of personality traits, definitely like someone who is, how do you say this? Like maybe like true to themselves,
Authentic,
kind of. Yeah, like an authentic
a level of
person.
authenticity.
Yeah, like because to a certain extent, you kind of like, listen, I am what I am. This is what you gonna get. Take, there's. I think sometimes with those people, there's no like. They're just like, well, I mean, hey, I'm here, right? Like, and you gotta be like, you're right, you're here. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah. So I would
And
say definitely at that
everything
level.
ain't for everybody.
Right. And I think they too have an understanding of that. Like, all right, so if I do this Broad Street and I just pass out on my five, I might not do that no more. But there's no like ill feelings. There's just like, yo, I tried it, it didn't work. I'm gonna move on, that kind of thing. So definitely probably some of that in there as well. Like, because I think they're all necessary traits in order to like, have the action. Because the thing about it, like, if you are action oriented, there are just certain things that will happen. You will try, you might fail. You would like, it's just, you may try, you might be successful. But you can't really. They go into it and they're just like, whatever happens,
Happens, right? Yes, it's
like
confidence, like
yeah.
yeah, like some like confidence in either I'm gonna say yourself or maybe something greater than yourself, because I think sometimes that can be an even bigger
You know
motivator for
what?
people who have
Yeah.
a confidence or a faith in something greater.
Mhm.
So you're like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm terrified, and I know that's the case for me. Like
Right.
I am like, I'm terrified. I don't know what I'm doing. Imposter syndrome,
Mhm.
whatever the thing, but I'm in collaboration with this flow of life, but I'm in collaboration
Right.
with God, but I'm in
Right.
the universe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
It
saying like,
is what it is. I'm doing my part. He gonna do his part, or
yes,
whatever's gonna do their part, and
you're gonna
it's
meet
gonna
the enemy.
work. Yeah. And I think just talking about people who may not choose action. Sometimes that's like the issue is just that, and I do sometimes believe that depending solely on yourself and
Ooh,
sometimes not having anything is a wild joint because it is, yo. I look at my like, how can I run? How could you do CrossFit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, sometimes when you look at stuff, it's like, it's no way that can happen if I just take, what it is. Like, I don't have no money in my bank account. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't got nothing. I'm gonna start this business. Impossible. I can't do it.
right.
But sometimes the people who are like, listen, I don't got no money in this bank account, but I'm gonna put this joint up on Instagram and see what happens. Like, and let out before you know it, 400 out the day or whatever,
Hey,
so
yeah, yeah.
right. So I definitely do agree with you. And you see that sometimes. Because I think just like humans, just thinking that, just looking at us and understanding our lives and we know our faults, you be like, I can't really do nothing. Like if I lived my life knowing me without something greater, without God, I probably would just be in my bed. That would probably be the safest place for me,
Yeah,
to be honest.
it would just be, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And I think that's, yeah, it's so important because it's like, and in a very real way, that's part of, you know, why I wanted to do this podcast and create this community around this topic specifically, is because we're all sharing the experience of navigating change
mhm.
constantly,
Right,
right?
right.
And we talk a lot in our friend groups or families or in groups with our colleagues about um, the like aspects of those changes, but we don't talk about the shared human
And
experience of it.
right.
And I think that is unfortunate, and hopefully that this space will help to kind of fill in a little bit of that space, because there's no greater power to like push you to confidence, to push you to right? Like we're saying, something outside of yourself. So even if that is just knowing that there's a community of people that are
Right.
the same thing,
Absolutely.
having the same conversation, or just having the sharing the experience, even if like the
Mm-hmm.
particular change you're experiencing, you don't know any exact person. And I think that's so important to like how we connect as human
Oh
beings.
yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not really about the like details of the stuff of it, right? That makes us connect. It's just that you could feel like,
Oh, the
I
emotions.
mean, we
Like
say that,
those, yeah,
oh, I
like
feel you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's
oh
what,
my gosh, yeah.
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 So,
So no, definitely. And I know that especially, you know, Black women, specifically, a lot of times we're in spaces and we be by ourselves, man. Like
oh,
it's crazy. Like we be by
tokenize.
ourselves. Yeah. And it's so beautiful when you're able to be somewhere and you be like, "Girl, you went through that, so did I." And oh, I was
Yes.
mad too. You'd be like, I was mad too. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like just like you said, like the connection of emotions are so wonderful, and it is, and sometimes it's motivating because you'll see how somebody responded to something and you're like, I can do that too.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
like, and I know, even with like my students, like, um, high school girls, high school girl problems, right? And and I don't like, I do like, I try my hardest to like never like overshare because I never really want to be one of those kind of teachers. Like, I don't want to be like the teacher that's like, girl, let me tell. No, no. But every now and then, like I'll just like drop something on the table for them, and they're just like, what? Give us more. Like, how did you feel? How did you get it? And and just like even having those experiences with them, you see how we connect on that like emotional level of like, I have all these things going on. I have prom, I can't find a dress and that thing. And I was like, well, when I was in high school, I was like, girl, I remember I couldn't find a dress. Everybody had $400 dresses. I didn't have no break for no $400 dress. I went, we went to like the outlets. My dress was 138. And they were like, I can do that too. And I'm like, of course you can. Like, and they were like, yes, and it was a very simple thing. But you saw how just like connecting and seeing how, those types of shared experiences, it kind of motivated them to be like, well, this is
Yeah.
the dress I'm wearing, and that's it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Right. So that
Yeah. And
was
to have
beautiful.
somebody that they look up to or respect, uh,
Hmm.
be like, I had that experience.
Yeah, like
It's like, oh,
yeah. And I guess that's why mentorship is so important. And like just all these
spaces like
things.
the Article Club,
Yeah, of course.
shameless plug.
Where
Okay.
I know, shameless plug.
No, shameless plug. Kerrie, for our audience, Kerrie is the founder and managing director and genius behind the Article Club. Check it out online.
Please do.
It is this beautiful, beautiful community of Black women who get together and support each other in our community.
That's it. That's all we do. Like nothing fancy, just we
No,
support each other. Yeah, like
no,
yeah, and it is, and those spaces are so important just because we have the opportunity to kind of get together, share some feelings. Like by the end, you're like, I'm going out and facing this world. Watch.
yeah.
Walking out that joint like, I wish somebody would try
Yeah,
to tell
because
us.
it's so empowering to just be in community.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope we
Right.
can accomplish a little bit of what Article Club accomplishes through these
Absolutely.
conversations, through posting these conversations, through having these conversations. Thank you so much, Kerrie
Of course. Thank
Blackmon, for
you.
being here, for sharing your
Thank you.
time and your mind with us. Thanks again to everybody for watching. If you like the show and would like to support us in our research, don't forget to share this podcast with others, like, subscribe, head on over to our YouTube or our Instagram at Action and Inertia. And if you or anyone you know would like to be a guest on the show, send us an email at actionandinertia@gmail.com. So until next week and the next episode, thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye.